Red 2 standing by, all 4 lit and in the green. Welcome back to Metroid Prime Remastered. And you might notice that we are in an area that is decidedly not cold. It is very hot and very rocky. And there is also a turret shooting at me, which I completely forgot about. I keep forgetting that particular one. Now, the reason I'm talking to you from this particular area rather than having gone straight to Phendrana is because if we're paying attention, we can find a very important item and get a new scan entry, because that's what I do. I scan things. I am trying to show you where everything you'll need in that regard is. We can make our way up here, and this will give us some research. This is a standard spinner device. The generator belts of the spinner can be activated by rapid rotational force. Use the boost ability of the morph ball when inside a spinner to activate the device. So it is entirely possible that the pirates actually do have some sort of rotational key. Collapsible suspension bridge is functional but lacks power. Now that we've got boost power, we can raise the bridge. And we can make it over here with our double jump. And we'll be able to walk along this path to find an item. We do have to come back here. Now, you probably should save this one until later, because there is a pickup we can't get yet. Because as our scan visor will tell you, the Bendesium portion of the area is unstable and we can't break Bendesium yet. But we can get a Chozo artifact. This is the artifact of strength, the second of 12. So there we go. Very nice. Now our artifacts. Yeah, they'll have a few filled in along the way. I should actually show you. Logbook. Artifact, truth, artifact acquired, strength, artifact acquired. If you do not scan those particular logbook entries, they're just clues, but they'll be filled in once you actually get the artifact anyway, because the first time we did this, my brother and I did not actually scan everything. We can go back to the Talon overworld and get that sorted out. Oh, I actually stuck the landing, not too shabby. And now we are right near where we need to go. Because even if we do have the space jump boots, we still can't proceed through Phendrana Drift. Now these hexagonal formations, there's something that causes them. I'll have to look it up. But it's things like the tessellated pavement, which I think is in Tasmania, and is it the Giant's Causeway in Ireland? Things like that. I think they actually are naturally forming structures of volcanic rock, which is really cool. So, we have gone through temperature extremes. You can probably boost everywhere if you want. But, now let me show you. You see how we had the ice ruins west here. Zoom in and you'll note that there is a purple door. We can't open purple doors yet. But what we can do is go to the place that lets us open purple doors. I think I probably should wind up doing the next segment in its entirety before I go back and start searching, because then we get an item that makes what I want to do a little bit easier. Because we will actually need it. I think if we don't fall off the edge, we can go over here get up here. I've always tried to jump from that one, which is a possibility, but... There we go. We need to go into this area, which does confirm that we have Chozo ruins in the area. It's the Chozo Ice Temple. Now, to avoid the Bommu, missiles can wind up just breaking through that. Now, it's the thing I'd like to point out. The fact that the Pulse Bommu winds up just dropping energy everywhere, no matter what, means it effectively has diarrhea. It's kind of shedding waste product, so it's like... At least that's... Yeah, is it like energy diarrhea or something like that? Anyway, we have a statue. A statue depicting a Chozo balancing the plane of existence on his hands. Very interesting. It's shaped like a disc. Wonder if that means Discworld is canon here. Anyway, this particular creature is the Ice Parasite, scavenger with a crystalline outer shell. Parasites are hardy creatures able to adapt to any environment within 3 generations. The Ice Parasite is a prime example. Having adjusted to a frigid climate, this vermin now thrives in it. Omnivorous, it can exist in areas hostile to most life forms. But it can't quite exist against gun. But we do get some stellar music. It combines the Fendrana style with this wonderfully, almost otherworldly feel. Oh, there was a crystallite there. But, like, this is just... It's so serene, so mystical. It really does help give you the feeling that you are in the presence of a higher civilization's sacred realm. That... This is... It is a place where I fell off. Like, it's sacred, serene, almost otherworldly. There is such a deep spiritual element to it. It's fascinating. It really helps bring home the idea. This is just like Mario games. There's just that hint of momentum. That little hint of momentum that skips you off the edge of the damn platform. It screws me over in pretty much every 2D Mario. You have to flat out break physics, or else you wind up falling to your doom. Because you'll just have way too much momentum. I mean, sure, you can do completely unrealistic stuff like arcing your jump so that you wind up backwards of where you started. But if you have just a hint too much momentum, you can't stop on a dime and you skip off the edge and you die. Anyway, we need to get through this door here. Little rant over. A statue depicting the bust of a Chozo shaman adorns this door. A symbol is carved into its forehead. The translation reads, "To pass my gaze, seek my twin within this room." So, we have a big statue here. A shell of ice encasing a water basin. The water originated from the statue's mouth. The statue's hands seem to be frozen in place, so there's this really impressive giant statue that is obviously sort of very sacred and very spiritual. It's a very well-constructed fountain. So, we have the bust of a Chozo warrior. It's flawless. The bust of a Chozo philosopher. It's also flawless. The bust of a Chozo architect. It's flawless. And over here, the bust of a Chozo shaman. Several stress fractures can be seen running along the surface of this brimstone object. So you have to put a missile into its face and jump in to open the door. We'll head deep into the heart of the temple. And we need to do a few bomb tricks along the way to proceed. So we can't just skip our way through because I think we get hurt if we do. But break our way through this. It's interesting that the box looks like it's got magma in it. They do respawn very quickly. Unless the heat of the bombs is causing it to take on a molten appearance. So, this room... Chapel Tunnel. The Chapel of the Elders. It's got a very lovely design. It's like the structures are so beautiful still. It really does feel like it's ruined, yet it's still spiritual. It's wonderful. And we've got something at the end of the room. And something just vibrated. The wave beam. Well, let's go and get it, and... no. Well, time to fight She-Goths. I note it takes advantage of the cutscene to actually fire a long-range blast at you. Once you actually get the space jump boots, you can double tap to dash around much quicker. And yeah, it's still entirely possible for you to wind up getting ambushed by the other She-Goth that comes in there. So you have to fight your way past 4 of these. It's got a bigger hitbox than I thought. So take out these. And the big one appears. Yep, adult She-Goth. Get our scan visor out for more exposition. The She-Goths, supreme predator of the Phendrana Drifts. She-Goths are invulnerable to most beam weapons. The crystals on their back absorb energy which they can fire at prey. She-Goths have poor stamina. They hyperventilate after using their breath attack, making their mouth area vulnerable. The soft underbelly of a She-Goth is susceptible to concussive blasts. In battle, they expel blasts of frigid gas to ensnare their targets. They are also fond of ramming and trampling their hapless prey. So yeah, if you shoot it, it just... Now there is a way to actually wind up... I believe there is actually a way to wind up damaging it a little faster, but you basically have to shotgun missiles at it. If you're able, I think if you are actually able to bomb its underbelly, then you can wind up doing a bit more damage to it. But we took it out the slower way, somewhat slower. And there we go, we do get goodies for it, and we can use the pickups in the room. Easy enough to deal with. Of course, I say that, I've got a bit of experience. It can be tough for first timers. You've really got to make sure you're controlling where enemies are. So the wave beam is very, very different from what you might be expecting. So, we use the push right on the right stick to switch to the wave beam. It opens purple doors. Wait. Wait, hang on, what's missing? At least I got the charge beam. I was panicking for a moment because I forgot it wasn't there. So the wave beam. The wave beam fires powerful electric bolts. This weapon has a limited homing capability as well. Use right on the right stick to select the wave beam as your active weapon. Fire the wave beam to open wave doors. The wave beam won't home in on targets without a lock-on. Press and hold L or ZL to lock on. Charge the wave beam to fire a fierce electric blast. Enemies struck by this blast will be enveloped in electrical energy for a few moments. So this does not go through walls. Unlike pretty much every other Metroid game, the wave beam does not go through walls. It is a purely electric signal attack. So we will be able to damage bombers with it, and we can stun enemies too. Probably one of the best tricks you can do with it is a short charge, and then you can just keep stun locking enemies. But it only works when you're not being swarmed. So you see how the pulse bomber is destroyed? There we go. Our wave beam is particularly handy. It's efficient, but it doesn't have a fantastic firing rate. It's moderately, I'd say it's moderately fast. So we might as well keep it as our signature weapon for the time being. We will get other weapons along the way. If you know your Metroid series, you'll pretty much guess what we're getting. And they mostly function differently. So now that we've got this, we can proceed, and we should. Now this is a very big difference for me because usually I wander off and do my own thing. But in this particular situation, we should actually wind up proceeding because there is an item I want to get so that I can wind up getting a few more pickups along the way. We don't have to go through Ice Ruins East, we can go straight to Ice Ruins West and take out the pulse bombers. There we are, clear proceedings. Now, where do I want to go? In here. Hello. Goodbye. Jump up here. Remove the impediments. Okay, that worked. I didn't even get a lock on, but okay. And don't forget to scan these either. Yes, stalactites count as a logbook entry. This hanging rock structure appears to have a weak spot near its base. Some stalactites can be dislodged from ceilings, allowing them to be used as platforms to cross otherwise unreachable areas. So that will now set us up to proceed through to the next area. There's another scan that for some reason is pretty much a one-time. You don't want to miss these. These are ice shriek bats, ice-encased ceiling dweller. Like standard shriek bats, these creatures are easily spotted with thermal imaging. They roost on cave ceilings, subsisting on insects, reptiles, and small mammals. Fiercely territorial, they will dive bomb anything that wanders near. For some reason, these don't respawn very often, and you can easily miss them. Make sure you get their scan entry first time, or else you could miss them permanently. Which is really, really stupid. So we've got another swarm of scarabs here. But don't be baited into using your charge beam to blow them away because you'll run into the pulse bomber. And we get another swarm of scarabs. Wrong button. Okay. Very close to the next part of the game. One-way access hatch. Standard spinner. So, we want to activate the spinners, fairly obviously. We're getting close to a very, very important area. So we've opened a couple of hatches and we need to go to the opposite end of the room for a couple more hatches. Now, I do recommend you doing this because you want as much kit as you possibly can for the next area, because we are actually going into a space pirate base. So that means be prepared. You may sing that in your best Jeremy Irons voice or a Boy Scout voice or whatever. Whatever a Boy Scout voice sounds like. I think of Blue Bottle from The Goon Show. Good, I did make sure to scan that. Now, you will need to flood the area in order to proceed, but you get a very obvious tunnel as well. So, jump over these. Oh, handling. Now we have to wait for the water to drain and do it all over again. Oh, there's another good opportunity to scan the door lock if you haven't already, but jeez. That's irritating. That's really an irritant. Just that wobble from trying to land in the blasted hole. Because if we actually go through there, we get an energy tank. Like I said, you want as much health as possible, because dealing with the space pirates tends to suck. They're usually a pain in the backside. Alright, we'll tank the flicker back with our face. Come on. Jump. That's not fair. It bugs me constantly. Like, because of course my first thought is, okay, they just shoehorned the spring ball in, which is kind of helpful but kind of not. Because, like, I think on pretty much... I'm not sure what the controls are on other control schemes. But it was just sort of added in. And the game doesn't tell you about it. And it's just really fiddly and doesn't offer that much of an improvement over a regular morph ball jump, except for not destroying a few... Now, if I move very carefully, I might be able to stick the landing. Just careful, 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 careful. The camera change means I have to go all the way back up again. But yeah, I'm not really happy with how the spring ball is implemented, because you generally get better jumps out of it in the 2D games. Like, you also get it when you get the high jump in Fusion, which I've shown, and it's so much more useful. Like, it's not even mandatory in Super Metroid. You have to go way out of your way in Meridia to actually get it. You at the very least should have the You should at the very least have the grappling hook, or, well, it's the grapple beam, not the grappling hook. You need the grapple beam, basically, and probably knowledge of the space jump. There's a save point over there, but of course we don't save in the middle of a Let's Play, or the recording session. I do save when I stop, but if we jump over here, wave beam door. We can avoid the turret. disable the turret and lock onto everything that's not the space pirate. Shadow Pirate. Pirate forces trained and equipped for stealth operations. A select group of space pirates have access to sophisticated cloaking technology. This gear drains high levels of power, however, forcing them to rely solely on melee weapons in battle. Use enhanced detection gear when fighting these units. So, they can kind of throw that one at you so that you can actually get its scan entry. But it's still very cramped. Do I get any goodies? Jerks, both of you! I can go outside and refill my health. But we'll just plow on. You notice how the music doesn't sound very friendly? We'll continue through this unfriendly area in the next one. Thank you very much for joining me. Till next time, this is Red 2, returning to base.